What the Fibble Thip is up, YouTube? It's Fang, and I'm back again with another MTG Arena gameplay video. Lost Caverns of Ixalan is here, and who's ready to go spelunking? Because today we're playing a deck featuring Cavern of Souls. So let's get down in the deep caverns of the earth and see what I have brewed for you today. Let's check out the deck list.
Mardu attack. The game plan is simple. We're getting creatures on the board that when they attack have a trigger. And the reason I say this is we've got key components that are the engine to this deck. The first one being Isshin, 2 heavens as 1. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So once we've got some creatures out on the board attacking, we follow it up with Mishra, claimed by Gix. Whenever you attack, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of attacking creatures. We're not going to be melding Mishra with the Phyrexian Dragon engine to make the Planeswalker on the backside, so forget that. However, we've got some great attacking creatures. We've got Yoti and Frontliner. Bear in mind it's colorless, which synergizes really well with the lands that generate mana of any color, whether it's based on a creature type or if it's legendary, which, believe it or not, every other creature in the deck is legendary and a human, so we get a lot of benefit from Plaza of Heroes, Cavern of Souls, and Secluded Courtyard. I think you guys are going to love the deck. I'm not going to go too deep into the whole game plan and what each card does because I want you guys to get familiar by watching, so let's get into the gameplay now. Opponent goes first. We've got a pretty good hand. This may not be a game-winning hand, but I want you guys to see what the deck is capable of in a pinch if it's not matched up well against a certain color, like we're playing mono red here. I've played a different iteration of this deck before, and it did pretty well, but it was not a human sub-theme like this deck is, so we will find out how it does today. Mono red has been the bane of my existence for the past few months, and I'd like to teach mono red gamers who's boss, so let's see if we can do that today. I don't mind the Frontliner dying because I can unearth it later for 1 white mana, have it attack alongside my other attacking creatures, which will be really nice. So let's get Thalia out and give him a good target to remove and get that removal out of hand. Ooh, not looking so good for Mr. Mono Red over here. Alright, let's get Anam Pakal out. This is one of the new cards from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It says whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on Anam Pakal, then create X/1/1 gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So it works kind of like Adeline or Squee, but it pumps itself, which I love, and you get more gnomes for each counter. So the argument could be made that it's better than Squee and Adeline, but we'll find out. You will find as I play these games, I've got some new inclusions from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, one of them being Inti, Seneschal of the Sun. We did lose Anam Pakal to Lightning Strike there. Inti's pretty sweet. I'm hoping we get to him real quickly. Normally, I don't just throw down Mishra, but it's unlikely they're going to have any removal to deal with them. They could have Nahiri's Warcrafting, but I'm not anticipating it, and we need to gain life. So we'll stay alive as long as we can while attacking, because that's how we're going to make a comeback. Thundering Raiju, alright. Not the worst I've seen. They don't have open mana. Well, they do now, but they don't have any other spells in hand, so we can block the Raiju. I don't mind doing that. I think they made a mistake. They probably should have attacked. Let's choose Human. Cavern of Souls is another nice inclusion in the deck. I have played a couple games earlier where I ran into a counterspell gamer who still tried to counter one of my creature spells even though it couldn't be countered. Surprisingly, they didn't quit. But this is what we're talking about here. We get the whole gang going. We're going to put the +1/+1 pump from the Yotian frontliner on Thalia. We're not going to discard a card. Yeah, they didn't like it. They never do. Mishra's a sleeper, guys. I've been saying it for months since this card has come out. Mishra is a sleeper. Put this card in some decks. See what you think about it. Personally, I think it's best in a Mardu deck because there's a lot of good attackers, which I hope you guys see today. On to game number 2. If I'm going first, I probably won't lose. I don't mind being proven wrong. So always choose human if you guys are going to be playing this deck. Deck list is in the description of the video as well. I like when they kill the frontliner because it's kind of a waste of mana and a waste of removal, and they don't usually see that, so we're going to try and trade here. This will have them put mana into the sleeper likely. Love to see it. You love to see it. Now we've got a choice to make here. Should probably, let's see, we're playing mono black. I'm going to get the Iganjo down so we can keep Takanuma potentially in hand to bring back Isshin if they kill it to removal, which they might. I love seeing that red outline on my cards, meaning they can't be countered. It's just a good feeling. I'm pretty happy about Cavern of Souls being in Standard now. What a powerful card. It's awesome to see it in Pioneer as well, which I guess would be Explorer on here. Let's see what they do. I think they know they got to take the Isshin out because that's a 5/6 they have to deal with next turn. And they're only on their 3rd turn right now. Yeah, I'm not going to block. I'll take 3. Then you can put your Death Touch counter on your Evolved Sleeper. So I'm curious to find out what cards you guys are excited to play from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I've got a couple of my favorites in here. We'll go over the deck list more in detail at the end if you guys would like. So stick around for that. We'll just do a little recap. I'll make some suggestions to any cards that could be swapped out or replaced entirely. And if you have any suggestions, let me know down below. I think we're in a pretty good position, so I don't need to hold on to this. Throw Mishra down. And get some doubling of triggers, and it's going to be nasty for the opponent. So we'll get a double +1/+1 pump. We'll get 2 instances of life gain and life drain, I suppose. We want to call it that. Warms my soul. Let's see what the opponent does to get out of this one. Do they kill Mishra? That is the question. I know they're going to read it, because they're thinking to themselves, what just happened? I've never experienced this on Arena. What is going on? And I do think there's something to be said about having the element of surprise while you're on the ladder, because a lot of people don't know how to deal with cards they're not used to. And to be fair, both Isshin and Mishra are relevant parts of my deck, so taking one over the other isn't really the end of the game for us. Which, that's fine, it can come back next turn. I'm not worried about that at all. Which works out really well. Yeah, they don't like it. So, for those who haven't seen it yet, Jarina, Dauntless General, is a pretty sweet protection piece. Take a look at the card here. It says when Jarina Dauntless General enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Not just a single card, their whole graveyard. And this card's really good late in the game, so I don't mind playing it now. You know, say they had some other stuff in the graveyard, they're going to reanimate. Great card to put in your deck. But the real big effect here is you can sacrifice Jarina at instant speed, and humans you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Not just one human, all of them. And not just hexproof or indestructible, both. Let's go on to game 3. Okay, so our opponent is going first. Just assessing my hand to see if this is something I want to keep. I've got a turn 2 play with Inti. And while we're waiting on them, Inti says whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains trample until end of turn. With Isshin, we can double that and get 2 counters on 2 different creatures. It's pretty awesome. Second ability says whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until your next end step. So if you don't use it the turn you attack, it does go away. What's really neat about Inti's ability with the discarding of a card is that it helps to reduce our hand size with Dejeru and Hazaret, and hopefully we get to see this come into play. So I won't divulge too much longer. I just want to play the game, you know? Windscarred Crag, we could be up against Boros Celebration. We'll find out. Read the card. It's a new one. Also, really like the art on here. On theme with this whole Lost Caverns of Ixalan, getting deep down in the earth. Very on theme with this set as well. Let's go, Inti! Seneschal of the Sun. Look at this little human knight riding a dinosaur. It's a beautiful sight to be seen. Yeah, I would have to assume we're going to see Ash Party Crasher at some point if they're getting tokens on the field and they're playing red-white. Lightning Strike works for me, not a problem. Cavern of Souls. Let's go ahead and choose human as always and get an Adeline down. They're unlikely to have 4 damage worth of removal in hand. I could be wrong. We'll find out. Oh, Siege Veteran. Love that card. So they are not attacking. I think we're going to go ahead and drop Takanuma. I'd like to keep Sokinzen in hand to make some tokens because we've got Mishra. So what do I want to do here? I think I want to maximize mana. Let's throw Mishra down, because again, I don't think they can quite deal with it. Let's bait them into blocking the token, if possible. But they may double block, which is just fine by me. Just fine. And I'm going to take the Siege Veteran, because that builds pressure. I don't want any more counters being distributed. For 1 turn, that is fine. I think we're going to get Isshin down. Then we'll attack. Drain them for 4. We'll block the token. No. Okay. So next turn we can have 5 attacking creatures, which will drain them for 10. And then if we can get 3 damage through from either Isshin or Mishra, we win. And even if they can block both of them, we'll have 3 tokens that we'll get through. So if they play more than 2 creatures this turn, it'll be tough to win, but I think we can still get there even if that's the case. But we'll find out. Not gonna block. No point. We're back to our starting life total, so I'd say we're doing just fine. Queen Kayla Ben Krug. That is a mouthful of a name. So, let's see. Discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. It's a little far away, if you ask me. Oh, cool. So we can get Kellen out. Let's do that, because that cheapens up the Sokinzen. Let's go ahead and Sokinzen it up. So at this point, 2 attackers are going to get through. I think we're going to do just fine. So we'll attack with everything. We'll drain him for 10. Then we'll let him sweat a little bit. We're down to 1. So they can't attack. Puts them in an awful position. Because if they do, we win. Unless they cast another creature. They could have another Virtue of Loyalty in hand, which means they could, at instant speed, put another Knight onto the battlefield on my turn. I'm still going to be above my starting life total, so I am not overly concerned. Yeah, I think that probably would have been best if they did that on their turn, but that's their choice, so whatever. Let's get an Adeline down. Next turn we'll get Isshin down. Bummer. Does 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and they kicked it, so that checks out. I guess last turn I forgot that this does untap creatures, so they may win. We'll find out. Yeah, I'm not gonna block. Probably not my wisest move. And that's gonna hurt. But they will untap. Smart. I like that. It's a good move. Well, that's game, my friends. We tried. On to round 4. Opponent goes first. We'll keep. So I'm sure the argument can be made that I could put some removal in here, and it may not be a bad idea. I'll assess after a couple more games. My thoughts are maybe a couple cut downs, and maybe the new white removal spell that can destroy a creature, planeswalker, or enchantment. But we'll figure that out as time goes on. And seeing a generous visitor makes me really wonder if Get Lost is the right move. I think that's the name of the removal spell I just talked about. Alright, go for it. And we choose Human. I think we're going to have to race at this point. So, we're going to do what we can to make that happen. Take your time to read it. It's a new card, I get it. Ossification. What a card. We might just be done for, my friends. Alright. So keep in mind with Kellen, I don't have the mana to do Journey On, which is the adventure portion of the card. That wasn't the intent of the deck. Alright, so the reason I'm getting Isshin down is I would like to follow it up with Mishra. They don't have a ton of creatures, they just have one right now. They may keep pouring their resources into Generous Visitor, and if that's the case, we can get some attack triggers to maybe gain some life to keep pace and stay alive a little bit longer. See what they do this turn. Awesome. I mean, I don't love taking the damage, but it's nice to see they're putting it all into the Generous Visitor, so no blocks. We're probably dead anyways next turn. Choose Human. We'll gain 2. But yeah, I think we're dead. There's no doubt about it. Alright, good game. I think it's time for some removal. I've assessed enough. We go first. Got a good hand. I added 2 copies of Get Lost to the deck and 2 Cut Down. So with 4 pieces of removal, we should increase our chances of winning without really messing with the deck and what we're trying to accomplish. Secluded Courtyard, choose Human again. I see Esper colors. We're going to throw Thalia down because they will likely have some removal. They could be Esper Control, maybe Bant, maybe 5 colors, I don't know. We'll find out. Now let's get Adeline down. Can't counter it. Let's see if they throw a counter spell anyways. They do not. That is a channel land. Or not channel land, a channel ability. Those will probably become pretty relevant with Cavern of Souls being in the meta now. Alright, let's throw Thalia back down. Alright, fair move. Fair move. Oh, we can destroy Leyline Binding? I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, but I don't have the mana for it, so that's a bummer. I'm learning a lot about this deck right now. Let's see. Let's attack first before making a decision. Let's get... What do I want to do? Let's go for Jarina. It'll give me a better chance of disrupting their removal. Alright, so they put it down first. That's cool. Get rid of their graveyard. So that Colossal Sky Turtle is gone. Weird. Okay. We'll get Sokinzen down. Let's go for Thalia, because I need that out. To Kellen. Moving past turn. Alright, Anapakal. Can't be countered. See if they have another Leyline Binding or instant speed removal. I'm sure they do. I'm picking up on what they're putting down. Hey, just do it or don't. You got a decision to make. Come on, Ligma. Yeah, sure. Sure. Do we take that? Yeah, we're going to take that. Oh, I didn't mean to put it in the grave. Alright, taking action is either putting it in your hand or in the graveyard. Then no action is leaving it on top. Learned a valuable lesson. Guys, this is what happens when you play with new cards and you don't think about what you're doing, so keep that in mind. Learn from me. Do as I say, not as I do. Hey, it's a sky turtle. But we're going to go ahead and do this. Let's channel. Let's try and get another creature in hand that can help us out. I think we're going to take NT. Cool, 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 cool. Ward 2. What's more important here? I think getting Adeline back is probably not as important, because we can just get rid of the Sky Turtle. It seems to be one of their only ways of winning. Yeah, it's a Ward 2 cost. We'll do this. We'll say yes. We will auto pay. I'll pay the ward. Alright, Isshin in hand. Wonder if they have a board wipe? Not quite sure. No, they don't. Cool. So what I think we're going to do is just go for a big ol' swing and get as much damage out as we can with NT and Yoti and Frontliner out. And this will help a ton. We'll get doubled triggers as well. Alright, so +1/+1. Do it here. We will do it here. We'll discard Kellen. And we'll put a, yeah, writings on the wall. Game's over. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, we're on game number 6. We've got 3 wins and 2 losses. I go first. I think I'm going to keep it. May not be the best hand, but I said I needed removal, and I've got it now, so let's keep it in hand. Let's get Kellen down. Give them something to read, because I'm sure they haven't seen it today. We'll look for the cursor highlighting the card. Oh yeah, lightning strike, that's fine, that's fine. And if we're playing against green-red, removal is to be expected. We've already seen that that's the case, so we will get Jarina out. If they have a bloodthirsty adversary, they're not getting that spell back later. Hope they play a creature. They do, it's Ruby, the Daring Tracker. It's a nice mana dork, that is for sure. The cost of 2 mana, it's pretty sweet. It's got a good ability as well. Alright, so this doesn't help, but it's just a feel-good thing. No blocks. Alright, we're going to keep the removal up. We may kill both, but I want to see what they put out first. Maybe a new creature that we have to deal with. Like Alana and Elena. I'm not going to let them get to combat. We're just going to take it now. And then we're going to cut down the Monastery Swift Spear and hope we get a 5th land. We don't, and that's fine. So we're going to attack. We'll pump NT. We are not going to discard. We'll just take the 1 damage and we'll move along. Next couple turns are looking good, because if we get anything that we can pitch to NT, we will throw it in the graveyard and get a counter on NT and give it trampled. Alright. First time I've seen somebody explore all day, and I've played quite a few games. Less climactic than I expected. No blocks. We good. Cut down is not bad to have in hand. I can't touch the Felden, but I can get rid of Ruby. I just don't know if that's worth it. But if they're ramping, I Guess I could slow them down. Let's just get the pump from the frontliner and let that be enough this turn. Do it here. We're going to decline. See what they do. Alright, so we're going to cut down the ruby. So we've got one floating red mana. They've got 2 mana now. Lightning Strike. Uh-huh. 7 damage. Woof. 8 after the ping. That might just be game. But let's see. We're getting to Human Kindred, so this could change the tide quite significantly. Gonna pump there. We have no card to discard, but we can go and get Mishra, which is a great blocker, so put it down. Because it can hold back the Feldon. Human Kindred can deal with the Thundering Raiju. Iglaw's Maze Crusher. Okay. How do you crush a maze? You know? See if they go for it. They do. There's no ideal counter here for them. Alright, so we get rid of the Raiju. And we block the Feldon. I really hope that they don't pull a damage spell off the top of their deck. Let's see what they exile. I think we're safe. Oh yeah, we're safe. Alright. So we're gonna gain 3 life. We go up to 5. They go down to 2. Yeah, we win. Alright. Give the pump to Mishra. We're going to discard Enti. We're going to put a counter on Mishra and give it trample. And then we drain them for 3. They go down to 2. And we win. It's a good game. Give him a little spin. This deck works in a pinch, man. It just does. That's fine, but you still don't win. Bye, friend. Rank up! Gold tier 1, alright. I go first. Yeah, I like it. Low on lands, but I'm confident we'll draw some more. Let's get Cavern of Souls out. Always pick human. Every creature in the deck is a human except for the Yotian frontliner. And it is colorless, so we can guaranteed get it out. Secluded Courtyard, do the same, choose Human. Let's get Enti out. They're likely to not have a lot of interaction being soldiers outside of Brutal Cathar. I think I'm going to get Anam Pakala out on the battlefield next turn so we can start getting a wide board state. So Kinzen. Can't be countered. So they might have resolute reinforcements. Knowing that that's the case, I'll probably pitch Jarina the Dauntless General. Put a counter on Anna Call. Discard a card. Yeah, because I don't want to lose NT to a creature that flashes in and makes a 1/1 token. That would just be less than ideal. So from here, as long as we can hit the lands, I think we are about to cross the finish line. So yeah, guess I should have thought of that too. Glad I made the move that I did, because I was expecting a body to come down at instant speed. Let's see what they got. They did have a Resolute Reinforcements, though. So that theory holds up. Yeah. Make your token, because it's about to get nasty over here. Let's go ahead and swing. Anam Pakal is going to get 2 counters. Woo! Let's discard a Mishra. Yep, we'll put a counter on NT. We'll also discard Get Lost and put a counter on NT again. Which is great because we got our Takanuma. They'd have to block with all of their creatures to kill NT. I really don't mind if... Yeah, it's a good trade. I'm not gonna lie, good trade. It's game over for the opponent. I'm not saying you should craft this deck. You know, if you don't have the wild cards, don't spend the money to make it. I just think it's good. I think it's competitive. I think it throws people off, and it's a bit of a banger. This deck is a banger, and you're about to see why right here. I don't know if they're going to quit. Sometimes they don't know what's happening. We've got Isshin out. We've got Mishra coming down. We're going to swing with 7 creatures. We're going to drain them for 14. But the first instance will kill them, so... Just to spite the opponent a little bit, we will do that. We will discard. We're going to pump Isshin up, give him trample. Woo! Good game. Another win. See you in the next one, guys. Debating if I should keep this. I think I should, because if Kellen can attack... Get a nice trigger and potentially go and grab a creature that's mana value 3 or less. Which I'd be fine with. And we have 2 legendary creatures out in an ideal scenario where we can use either of the channel lands to get some advantage. It's human or bust, you know? Human or bust, friends. Got a new little pet over here. I've always loved this Kamigawa Neon Dynasty battlefield that we're on. Looks so sweet. Today, opponent, there's no better time than today to play. So play! There we go. Secluded Courtyard. Human or bust. Let's get Kellen down. They'll have to waste their turn 2 if they want to kill it, because we do not have 1 mana red spells that can deal 3 damage to my knowledge. Unless there's something in Lost Caverns that just came out that I'm not aware of. Well, there is Strangle, but that's sorcery speed, so it doesn't count. Alright, let's go for Anam Pakal. Give him a target. See if they've got Play with Fire. Seems to be a stall, so they've got something. Woohoo! Another Strangle. Okay. Got another Anam Pakal. That's awesome. What do we want to do? Can't use Get Lost yet. I don't have the white mana for it. Oh man. I think we throw the Takenuma down. Yeah. Takenuma down, and I'll call out. They're gonna run out of removal eventually. So they've got every strength. They got one more left. I'm amazed we haven't taken damage yet, though, so I'm not overly upset about the way that things have played out. Alright. Thalia. Then we'll do Jarina. We'll be mana efficient and have some protection. Exile their graveyard. So again, if a bloodthirsty adversary comes around, we don't have to worry about it. They're not going to go and fetch some stuff from the grave. We're not in a great spot, though. Not going to lie about that part. The ideal scenario would be drawing a Mishra next turn and draining the opponent for 2. We're going to have to take 7, which is really unfortunate. I'm thinking that as far as removal goes, because of the mana restriction from the land base, it may be better to throw in Brutal Cathar, which I may just do that. I know it's not legendary, but having one non-legendary should be fine, because I've got Secluded Courtyard and Cavern of Souls to cover the mana base. Well, that's not great. Probably the only 2 creatures that don't have attack triggers. They've both got trample, so yeah, it's game over. We swing and we give it to them. But we're learning together, you know? We're figuring out what cards are going to be best in the deck. Because if I would have had Brutal Cathar, that would have just been game over for him. Could have taken the Electrostatic Infantry and kept swinging and minimized a lot of damage. But I'll give them the win. They're welcome to have it. They earned it. Whew! Some big boys. No blocks. You got the win. It's all you. Okay, I go first. You can see the inclusion of Brutal Cathar. I've got it in the deck now. If I'm going first, I can probably hang tight, having some removal. Let's go ahead and get Plaza of Heroes down. We'll do Cavern of Souls next. I just don't want to reveal any of my game plan by throwing Cavern down and telling them humans. It could change what they do, and I don't want to give them that advantage. But I'll do it this turn. So there we go. Let's see what happens. We need to deal with that. I don't think we do. Let's get Adeline down. Probably will be pretty hard for them to deal with, seeing the colors that I've seen so far, which is just green. They'd have to have something stronger to take it down. Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia. It's a card I'd like to play with more. I feel like it's got potential. Alright, so Takenuma. Or do we hang on to it? I think we're going to hang on to it. Alright, let's get Anima Call out. Or should we get rid of their ramp? Yeah. Get rid of ramp. That's what we'll do. Bye, Gwenna. So Gwenna was going to give him, what, 2 mana? To cast a creature? Oh, yeah. No, thank you. Then they can block the token. Take 3. Should we put the Takenuma out now? I think we've got enough an advantage, so yeah, I'll throw it out. It's on the battlefield. Alright, you got your 5 mana. What do you got now? Filer of Vigor. Okay. Let's at least be mana efficient. Put an Anima Call out. We're not going to reveal Isshin just yet because I want them to swing with the Defiler. And if it becomes a problem, we can just not cast a spell, flip Brutal Cathar, then cast 2. Because I do have 2 Jarinas, and granted I can't keep both, it would still flip the Brutal Cathar back, which would be nice. I think we're going to swing. Yeah, they're going to get cocky, I'm sure. Gain 4 life. Yeah. Mono green doing work. They don't have a graveyard, but we'll exile it anyway. So we'll attack with the Yotian Frontliner and Adeline, because Adeline will have 8 power. Well, actually more, because we're going to get the Anima Call tokens as well. Alright, so what do we do here? I still think we just pump the Adeline. Pose a serious threat for them. See what they do. I'll probably block with the Armored Scrap Gorger, I imagine. These are humans, so I can actually keep those around. It's probably the move. Yeah, let's do it. I'll need those 2 extra tokens to close them out. They're taking 12? Why? My friend, I don't think that's the move. So we should have the game now. Alright. Could have blocked with an Armored Scrap Gorger and just been done with it. Not taking the 13 damage. Alright. No land for you to go fetch. I wonder what the other spell you have is. I think it's Feral Encounter. It's the 2 green mana pip removal spell that has them fight and go look for another card that they can cast this turn. But I think they just reveal it from the top. I can't remember. Oh, sweet. We got another Jarina. I forgot about that. So, at least push through. Keep our humans around. And then we can get the Yotian Frontliner to pump things up. Alright, let's move to combat. I'm just going to swing because I think I can win. Math is for blockers, right? And I also don't want you guys to have to sit here and watch me do this over and over and over again where I count, and I look at the toughness, and I look at the power. That's not exciting gameplay. They do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they take my 6 strongest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're still taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 12. Yeah, we got the win. We're good. This deck is doing well. We had a couple stumbles along the way with the lack of removal, but I think I got it figured out now with Brutal Cathar, so I think this is working. I'll probably make another video with this deck just to showcase to you guys how fine-tuned it is, and after assessing what it takes to get a win, what the deck looks like when I perform better myself. But we'll sack Jarina. We'll give Indestructible to all of my humans just to rub it in. We win. Alright. Let's do a deck review. Take you over to the current deck list just to make sure that you're familiar with the changes I've made. Here we are for our post-game wrap-up. So I'm sure you saw the potential of the deck. I kind of fumbled my way around for a few games with a lack of removal, but I had to play it to see what it needed. And really, Brutal Cathar was it. We saw in the last game after I put it in, it saved the day. It stalled us just enough time to get some damage through to push with a lot of tokens at the end and win. And that was without Mishra on the field. That was just with Isshin down, doubling tokens from Anapakal and Adeline. I have cut a couple things. I think I went down a copy on Inti. I believe I went down a copy of Yoti and Frontliner. And I still maintained 4 Isshin, 4 Mishra, and 4 Thalia. But overall, the deck's pretty awesome. The only other thing that I might do is find a way to get a little more white mana from lands that aren't looking for specifics like legendaries or creature types. But I think we should be fine now with the changes I've made. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. This deck's pretty sweet. Definitely going to play it more. I hope you do too. Like I mentioned earlier, it's down in the description. Go play it. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video today. I enjoy making these videos a ton, and I hope you do too. But any comments, recommendations, or things you'd like to see from me, things you think I could do better, I'm open to criticism, and I'm down to make whatever content you guys want to see. So thanks again. See ya.